What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Yankified Podcast with your host, Donald. What's going on, everybody? Let's get right into this stuff. We got a lot to cover. The Yankees luckily have an off day today after an awful series against Toronto, and we got to discuss some things. We got to discuss Brian Cashman's awful roster construction, and we got to discuss Jazz Chisholm because I am so done with this dude. Anyone else sick of him? Is there anyone else sick of him? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the top 3 most embarrassing Jazz Chisholm moments. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do the top 3 most embarrassing Jazz Chisholm moments. We're going to open it up to the chat for those moments. That should be a lot of fun. And we have an update and we have a super chat right off the bat. What's good? Jacob Petruzzi, $2 super chat. You are a legend. Thank you so much, Jacob. You are an absolute legend. Bless up to you, my guy. Max out with left elbow. Oh, baby. Well, that's not an ideal start. Right. Let's look at that. Max Fried is on the 15-day injured list with a left elbow bone bruise. Well, wow. That's shocking. Damn, man. Max Fried has a lot of injury history. That is concerning. And bone bruises take a while to heal. That's not going to be a 15-day thing. That's going to be much longer than 15 days. I mean, you'd be lucky to see him for the playoffs. Let's be honest. With a bone bruises could take weeks. And with his injury history, yeah, that's not good news for the Yankees rotation because they are solely reliant on the pitching because of the poor roster construction by Brian Cashman. Will the rotation withstand this? Well, you got Rodon due to come back this coming series against Baltimore. But just as one guy comes in, another guy goes out. And to be honest, if I had the choice between a Fried being healthy and a Rodon being healthy, I'd choose Fried being healthy any day. Rodon's inconsistent, but when he's on, he's an absolute bulldog on the mound. So, I mean, he's still pretty damn good, but Max Fried's a loss and a half for the Yankees. So that's very bad news, my guy. I wonder how long this could take with Max Fried. I'm telling you, I think that's going to be much longer than 15 days. I'll tell you that. So it's the same issue that sidelined him earlier this year. Yeah, this season's cooked. If you're a Yankee fan, this season's cooked. He spent 2 months on the IL with the same injury. There's no way that he's coming back before the end of this season. Yeah, this is done. Fried's done. Max Fried is done, guys. That is a shame. Yeah, that's a real shame. If it's the same injury, which it is, and the last time it cost him 2 months, it'll cost him that again this time. Damn, that sucks. That sucks. That's where we're at with this Yankee team, bro. They're kind of cursed with injuries, but it's only going to do is just give Brian Cashman more excuses, of course. But that's where we're at. How does everybody else feel in the chat about this? So thank you very much for that update, Jacob. Update was only 50 minutes ago from the Yankees itself. They broke the news. So shout out to you, Jacob, for that super chat. Thank you so much. Well, that's put a real dampener on the Yankees' chances, let's be honest. But I think this season's in perilous state already. What's going on, John the Beagle Dad? Good to see you in the chat. What's going on? How the heck is everyone? That's what I want to know. How the heck is everyone? So, guys, my plan is to do the top three most embarrassing Jazz Chisholm moments. So, everybody, get in the chat. I want you guys to give your suggestions of the top three most embarrassing Jazz Chisholm moments because we got to discuss Jazz, Jazzy Jazz with his lollipops and his sandcastles and the whole shebang. Anyone sick to death of Jazz Chisholm? Anyone sick of him? Because I'm sick of him, man. I am so sick of him. I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of his act. But what really shocks me is how is someone that talented having this kind of year? He's such a talented player. That's the thing. It's not like he isn't incredibly talented. He is incredibly talented. Like, when he actually decides to care about the game of baseball, he's fast as hell, can field the position as well as anybody. He's got power, even though he's lanky and thin. He's got a lot of power. He he sees spin very well, and he's able to dispatch it to all fields. And he's a particularly good pull hitter. So, like, he is capable of having a 40-40 kind of season, which is very much in his kind of that's what he's capable of. He's got that kind of power. He's got the skill set. But I'll tell you what, I don't understand what is going on between between his ears. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on between his ears because his attitude is disgraceful. His attitude is a joke. His attitude is an embarrassment to the organization. It's an embarrassment to the sport, and especially an embarrassment to the franchise and what the Yankees mean to people. His attitude's disgusting. I mean, he looks like he doesn't care. Haiti says Jazzo doesn't care. I agree with you, Haiti. Jazz doesn't care, man. His attitude is unbecoming. Yeah, it is. He's wearing Stanton's pants that are like four times the size of him. You know, he wears a hat cocked to the side and baggy pants, like he's. I honestly think he's taking the pet. He's acting like he's making fun of the Yankees. That's the attitude that I get, you know, and yawning during a playoff game in the field, sucking on a lollipop, getting himself thrown out in the base pass constantly, forgetting how many outs there were. That was just most recently, and it's never ending. The stupidity, and it's been going on for ages. And if you want another stupid thing, how about when he says he was going to have a 50-50 season? Karma is a beautiful thing. Karma is undefeated. And Karma has come back and smacked Jazz so hard in the ass, he doesn't know what end is up. He has no idea because Karma has kicked his ass so bad, and it's deserved. Oh, I'm going to get $35 million a year and I'm going to have a 50-50 year. And then what did he say? My teammates came to me and says, "You're Jazz Chisholm. You're the greatest in the world." I can't stand this guy. Please get him off my team. Please. Please get him off my team. We would love all of his idiosyncrasies if he was producing, though, I think. Imagine if he was nearing 30. But that's the big thing. He isn't producing. So it's kind of like that scene in Step Brothers. Remember when the Step Brothers let out a fart and then Seth Rogen was like, At first, I thought it was kind of funny. It was kind of cool. And now I'm thinking it's kind of fucked up. That's Jazz Chisholm, because now he isn't producing, and now it's no longer funny, and now it's actually, you know what, it's kind of fucked up, and that's where we're at. Um, you exactly, you know this reference. It's like now it's like, you know what, this is kind of fucked up now, Jazz. Um, Evan hates Jazz. Dude, I hate him too. I can't. I'm sick of him. I hate his act. Who does he think he is? Every time he speaks, I want the dragon from Game of Thrones to barbecue him. Honestly, I can't take him anymore. Like, what the fuck? What are you saying? I'm Jazz Chisholm. I'm the greatest in the world. Dude, you're not even the greatest in your position. You're not even the greatest in your locker room, let alone the greatest in the world. You're probably not even the greatest Chisholm to ever walk the earth. Like, you're just not good. His attitude's a disgrace. What's going on, CT cards? I'm going 60-60 next year. That's just Chisholm, baby. And the thing is, it's like the same time, right? Evan, I want to shout Dracarys, and then one of the dragons come and just barbecue him, and then that'll be it. Done with him. Thank God. Um, but in all honesty, like, his antics is just too much for me. I can't take it anymore. So we're gonna do the top 3 most embarrassing Jazzy moments. Okay. Once we get more people in the chat, so everybody hit that like button, share it out. Anyone else know some Yankee fans that are pissed off at Jazz Chisholm and pissed off at the fact that Brian Cashman has 6 DHs on his roster? Anyone else sick of that stuff? Share it out. Hit that like button. Let's get this out to more people, because we got to talk about this. Lollipop, anyone says CT cards, exactly, and I think that has to be number one. That has to be number one for me. Imagine the boss alive and Jazz would have a lollipop on the field. Oh my god. Dude, George would have shoved a lollipop up his ass. Like, I guarantee you. George would have shoved that lollipop up his ass. That I can promise you. Jazz would have to sit down with a lollipop up his ass. The George would have had no time for this shit. And he would have been DFA'd or traded. Dude, all you can do at this point is laugh instead of cry, because Jazz has done this to us, man. Like, it's so painful what Jazz is doing. It's painful to watch his antics, bro. He's not yawning, he's forgetting how many outs there are, or he's building sandcastles in the field, or he's staring at the camera like it's an alien from outer space. Like, wow. Oh, it's a camera. Oh, I've never seen that before. Where did they find this guy? This isn't idiosyncrasies. This is like, dude's an idiot. Like, he needs a crash helmet. He doesn't need a baseball helmet, a batter's helmet. He needs a crash helmet. He's that much of an idiot. Oh, camera. Honestly, I'm so sick of him. I'm the greatest in the world. Who says that? Aaron Judge has never once said I'm the greatest in the world. Barry Bonds has never said it. I don't think Babe Ruth ever said it. And Jazz Chisholm says it. There you go. Anyone who says I'm the greatest in the world, you're probably the opposite. Oh, God, I'm so done with him, man. I'm so sick of him. So, let's do the top 3 most embarrassing Jazzy moments, baby. I want some of your suggestions in the chat. Hit me up with your suggestions for what should be number 3 in the list of the most embarrassing Jazzy moments from the embarrassment that is Jazzy himself. Number 3, I'm going with yawning in a playoff game. That's my number 3. Number 3, third most embarrassing Jazzy moment was him yawning on the baseball field in the middle of a playoff game. Whew. That was Jazzy, baby. That was the number 3 for me, most embarrassing Jazzy moment. Anyone else got any other suggestions than that one? That is number 3 for me. That is definitely, definitely number 3 for me. Number 2, the second most. Jade says, Donald, the most embarrassing thing about him is he's batting 175 with runners in scoring position. Facts. That's right. John the Beagle Dad has a couple of suggestions. Let's. Him wearing another player's pants. That's exactly wearing Stanton's pants like 4 times the size of him. That is a good one. That's a very good suggestion. But he's had so many. The day he was benched, when was Boone ever held him accountable or talked about Boone for not knowing the play? The second most embarrassing Jazzy moment. Oh, it's a tough one, though. It's a tough one because there's so many candidates. Like, you could actually just say him saying, I'm going to have a 50-50 season, and then him having the worst season of his career is great. That has to be on the list. I don't know where in the list, but that has to be on the list. I'm going to get $35 million and I'm going to have a 50-50 season, and he ends up having the worst season of his career. It's so good. That is excellent karma. That for me is just missing because he has so many. I would say the second most embarrassing moment was him not knowing the rules and admitting it afterwards. And then Trent Grisham had to tell him the rules of baseball post game. And he admitted, he's like, I didn't really know the rules. So, oh, well. That was Jazz Chisholm. That was the second most embarrassing moment. Although, definitely a shout out goes to the game against Miami, where he wandered off the first base bag on a pop up about 3 or 4 feet from him. And he wandered so far off the bag that he ended up getting thrown out at first. And then he said afterwards he said, I'd do it again because I played there. Now you're an idiot, bro. You're a complete moron. But I think that's top 5. But the second most embarrassing moment for him was admitting that he didn't know the rules of the game. And that happened earlier this year. That's number 2. And my number 1 most embarrassing Jazzy Chisholm moment of his Yankee career, his godforsaken Yankee career, the number 1 most embarrassing Jazzy moment is the lollipop. Mr. Lollipop himself. Jazz Chisholm's lollipop for me is the most embarrassing Jazzy moment. Sucking on a lollipop was by far the most embarrassing Jazzy moment. I would say it's one of the most embarrassing moments I've ever seen. Being a Yankee fan for decades now, I have multiple decades. I have never seen anyone suck on a lollipop before and play with a sandcastle at the same time. It was so problematic. It just speaks to his attitude, his disgraceful attitude. And I'm so done with him, man. So done with him. And he's had a horrible season. He bat 177 in June, and in August, he's batting 146. 146 in August. And then you combine the 146 in August with his 31% strikeout percentage, which puts him in the 7th percentile in the league. That means that 93% of the league strikes out less than you. You are in the 7th percentile. And you have the balls to say, I'm a 50-50 guy, I'm the greatest in the world, and I'm going to get $35 million. He is an embarrassment to the organization. Thank you, Jade. I agree with you. It's so embarrassing. Management ownership tolerates this crap. I couldn't agree with you more. It is an embarrassment. In fact, you're getting a star for that. Because the thing is, I'm ranting about Jazz, but there's actually a manager there that allows this crap. Aaron Boone allows this crap. Brian Cashman allows this crap. How is it okay to speak this much and speak so stupidly? How is it okay to be wandering off first base and not know the rules of the game, not know how many outs there were, not knowing how many outs there are, sucking on lollipops, building sandcastles, wearing someone else's pants and someone else's bat, someone else's helmet? Doesn't give a fuck. Excuse me. He doesn't care. And it's not acceptable. You shouldn't have someone like that on the field every day. Because he's actively hurting the team. The way he's played second base this year is abomination. He's one of the worst second basemen in the league this year. That's not who he is. He's usually a very good second baseman. This year, he's been terrible. He's been lazy. He's been lollygagging it around on the field. When he does bother to field the ball, he just kind of lofts the throws over to first base with no urgency, no zip. It's like he doesn't care. It's like he's done. He's like, this season's cooked. I'm cooked. So I just don't care anymore. He doesn't cover the bag. Like that play where Ben Rice screwed up there at first base, Jazz wasn't backing him up, wasn't covering him. Just let it go past. See, he doesn't care. There's no urgency. He didn't know how many outs there were, so he just kind of walked around the bases. This is who he is. And Aaron Boone allows it. Aaron Boone supports it. Aaron Boone doubles down on it, triples down on it, quadruples down on it. So Aaron Boone is just as much to blame as Jazz Chisholm for this, because Jazz's antics should have been shut down instantly, immediately. I mean, it could have, as soon as Jazz Chisholm made that horrible mistake against Miami, and this was last season, and he wandered off the bag on a pop-up right next to him, and had himself thrown out at first base. And then he said it afterwards, and it was like, I'd do it again. Aaron Boone should have benched him and made it very clear that can never happen again. But he didn't. He made an excuse for it. It was, it's all right. No problem. Did anybody ask him about why Jazz didn't know how many outs there were the other day? I doubt it. Boone doesn't care. So neither does Jazz. Oh, and what about the time where Boone pretended that he cared about the lollipop incident? Oh, that pissed me off. Oh, did it? Because he played the next day. Oh, did it? Because the next day you said that he can suck on as many lollipops as he wants. I'm going to call him a lollipop kid. Like, he is a clown. The two of them are clowns. Aaron Boone just wants to be friends with people. That's terrible leadership. If all you want to do is be friends with people, you are not portraying leadership on the field. You're not leading men. And believe it or not, these are men. Even though Brian Cashman wants them to be babied, and that's what Aaron Boone does. These are men. These are professionals in a cutthroat environment. That's what it should be. It should be a cutthroat, dog eat dog environment. That's what it should be. But Aaron Boone has made it this holiday camp. He's made it a holiday camp, Booney Bubbles. And he's obsessed with people pleasing. He wants everybody to just be friends with him. Well, hey, you're gonna get friends. You'll not be short of friends, Booney. I'll give you that. But how many people are gonna say he's a great leader? I doubt anybody. You'll have plenty of friends. Aaron Judge, Jazz, Volpe, Wells. Oh, he'll have his buddies. Oh, they'll love him. But how many respect him? Because there's a difference between friendship and real respect. And I would much rather be respected as a manager than be buddies with people. Because that doesn't really mean you're a leader of men. And I just love that Aaron Boone has this motto. What is it that he always preaches? He has this motto about preparation and all this shit, you know. And it's so funny because that's the opposite of who he is as a manager. What is it? Prepare, compete, win? They don't prepare and they don't compete. So I don't understand. But Jazz is a big part of it. And the best thing that Aaron Boone could do would be to bench him. Because do you guys notice the difference? As soon as Jazz was benched in that Blue Jays game, you had somebody like like Caballero that came in and actually tried. He actually tried. His at bats were positive. His effort on the field was positive. He actually tried to win a game, and they did win a game, and Caballero had a lot to do with it. But he'll probably lose his place because Aaron Boone said he will. Aaron Boone said he will. He basically said no matter how bad Jazz is going to play, he's going to play every day. This is your manager. It's not about who's hot or who's not. No, it's about who's friends. And Jazz is friends with Booney, so Jazz is going to play every day. It's a horrible attitude. If my old man left me the Yankees, I'd be fighting people left and right who are trying to embarrass him in the organization. Well said. I agree with you, Haiti. And that's why I do think Hal has this kind of daddy complex. He has a real dad complex because anyone who's ever inherited anything from a family member who's passed away, you treat it with reverence and you try and do anything to make your deceased family member proud. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather left me his library of Yankee books, and I protect it with my life, man. Like that means a whole hell of a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot to me, and I try and do him proud by carrying the Yankee banner. Now, and that's why I'm so outspoken about it because I have demands. I demand that they get back to who they are as an organization. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I feel like it's actually my duty to have this platform and remind people remind the Yankees who they are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. It is really cool, man. Really fucking cool. And you know, my father passed away. He left me his legacy, his business, and I try and make it. I try and make it better so that he outlives his legacy outlives me and the future generations. That's what I feel like I got to do. Um, but how's the opposite? How's inherited the greatest organization in sports, and he's made it worse. He's made the standards worse. He's he's allowing people to embarrass his father's organization, and he just doesn't care. He's on a yacht somewhere. He's taking on loans in order to maybe buy other soccer teams or whatever, or invest more in AC Milan. He doesn't give a shit about the Yankees. It's really sad. The Yankees have gone from what was the greatest organization in sports to now a corporation, a soulless, cash grabbing organization that just basically wants to take every single penny it can from the Yankee fan base, and with very little to show for it. Right. The Bus family sold the Lakers for $10 billion. Can you imagine? CT says only chance we have is if Judge comes back ready to go, Stanton comes back ready to go, Bailey, Rodon. No, I don't even see it, dude. Like the Yankees are asking too much of Aaron Judge, as it is. They're asking too much of Aaron Judge, even if he was 100% without a rib injury. Um, and this actually leads me on to the main topic of tonight's discussion. Brian Cashman's awful roster construction. Dude has 6 DHs on his roster. You count it, guys. He's got 6 DHs and 7 lefties in this lineup. Let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn and count the DHs. The people that can't field their position. Right? Let's do it. Let's go around the horn. Right? First base, Ben Rice, DH. Garcia, DH. Right, that's 2. 2 already. Both play the same position. Second base, Jazz. I mean, Jazz can't field right now. I won't say he's a DH, but the dude can't field, and he's a disaster. Shortstop, Lombard, love him, fantastic. McMahon, glove only, okay. Wells, glove only. So we've got 2 DHs anyway. Third base, Rosario, DH. He's a DH. That's 3 DHs. Stanton, that's 4 DHs. That's 4 DHs. Then we move into the outfield. Elliot Ramos. Well, what a trade that was. 5 DHs. He's a DH. He can't field. He's one of the worst left fielders in the game. Statistically, he's actually one of the worst left fielders in baseball. So he's definitely a DH. He's a platoon one at that. That's 5. We had to send out Dominguez because he's a DH. That's 6. Trent Grisham. He can't play center field. He's awful. He has no arm. He can't field anymore. He used to be really good. Now he can't. That's basically 7. That is an absurd. And then we're not even getting to Aaron Judge with a bad rib. You want him to play right field every single day with a broken rib? You got to be out of your mind. He should be DHing. at least half the time. But we can't because we have 6 DHs. 6. What are you going to do with all these DHs? How is this working? Brian Cashman has his roster construction is literally disgraceful. It makes no sense. How is anyone stupid enough to manage to build a team of DHs? Like earlier this morning, people in the chat were saying it's like a beer softball team that he's built. There's no argument. That's what it is. It's the Bronx DHs. Like, there's no excuse for this. How did he manage to build a roster of all these DHs? The Heliot Ramos trade was so stupid. You gave up Henry Lalani, top 5 prospect, and then a number 13 prospect to bring in a platoon DH in Heliot Ramos. How stupid do you have to be as a general manager? It's not acceptable to be this stupid as a general manager, but that's who Brian Cashman is. He's that stupid. Heliot Ramos trade is awful, people. Awful trade. Got 6 DHs. So I want to ask you guys in the chat, how is this meant to work? How is this meant to work? When Stanton gets back, how is this meant to work? Because you need Stanton's righty bat. You need Stanton's power righty bat in the lineup. You do. Whether you like him or not. I love him. Love Big G. But he's one of the only power bats in the lineup. Okay? One of the only ones. He's one of the only dudes that can hit. So he needs to be in the lineup. So you put him at DH, then what are you going to do? Where is Garcia and Rice? How are you going to play Garcia and Rice together in the lineup? Answer, you can't. So Garcia is one of the only dudes in the lineup that can hit. And Rice is one of the only dudes in the lineup that can hit. Well, that means that one has to sit every day. Or you're going to have to sit Stanton. Which means that then it's overly left-handed. Do you see what I'm saying here, guys? The roster construction is an embarrassment. And Brian Cashman has to be fired. He is a disgrace. He's so bad at his job. How did you do this? How have you managed to stumble into this? It doesn't work. So if Stanton DHs, that means that one of Ben Rice and Garcia has to sit. Do you want Garcia playing second base? No. And it's not even a case that he can play second base. He's a terrible second baseman. Terrible. He has no arm. So that's out of the question. So that means that one of Ben Rice and Garcia has to sit if you play Stanton. What happens if you need to DH Aaron Judge? If Aaron Judge is DHing, coming back from a rib injury, then what does that mean? That means Stan has to sit? And not only does Stanton have to sit, and one of Ben Rice and Garcia has to sit. So anytime that you make a move at DH, 2 of your top bats have to sit. That is the remarkably stupid decision-making from Brian Cashman. And you've given up a top 5 prospect in Henry Lalane to get in Heliot Ramos. What's going to happen with this guy? Where's he going to play? When Cody Bellinger is healthy, Cody Bellinger has a rehab assignment in AAA this week. So all being well, he'll be available at the weekend. Okay, so then when you can play Cody Bellinger in left field, then what are you going to do with Heliot Ramos? Where's he going to play? You're going to play him in right field? Then what about Spencer Jones? Is he going to play center field? I hope so, but I don't trust Aaron Boone to make that decision. You know that Aaron Boone's not going to sit Trent Grisham. It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand Brian Cashman's roster construction. It's an embarrassment. He has 6 DHs on their active roster right now. When we call up Dominguez in September, that'll be 7. 7 DHs. He has to be out of his mind to do this. And it doesn't work. There's not one aspect when everyone's healthy that we can get everybody in the lineup. Because it doesn't work. We have 3 first basemen. In fact, you could go as far as to say Bellinger can play first base as well. You could say we've got 4 people that can play first base. Spencer Jones can play first base as well. That's 5. Dude's gonna get 5 like first baseman. Got no catchers. We don't have a third baseman that can hit. Our second baseman is a maniac. We don't have an outfielder that can hit. This is the roster that Brian Cashman's built. And look how left-handed it is, bro. When Cody Bellinger is back this weekend, we're going to have 7 lefties in this lineup. We're going to have 7 lefties in this lineup. Let's go round the horn again. Ben Rice, lefty. Garcia, lefty. Jazz, lefty. McMahon, lefty. Wells, lefty. Grisham, lefty. 6 freaking lefties. 6 mother effing lefties. How is that possible? Bellinger, lefty. 7 freaking lefties. How is that possible? How can you be so dumb as a general manager to have that many lefties in a lineup? Do you know how easy it is to get through that order? Bullpen lanes, if you've got 7 lefties out there, it'll be so easy to deal with that. But that's what Brian Cashman has done. Because he is an idiot. A pompous jerk and an idiot at his job. And the game has passed him by. Michael K says today that Jones goes back to AAA. Dude, Jones is better than Elliot Ramos. He's better than Trent Grisham. Spencer Jones has been good. A can field his position, B can run, and C has some power. Damn, man. That pisses me off. He's actually one of the only athletic people we have on the roster. So it wouldn't surprise me if we send him down to AAA because we can't have we can't have Elliot Ramos who stinks sitting. You can't have that. He's been much better of late, and he's making better contact. But the thing is, he is another lefty. So you know what? That's 8 lefties. That's 8 lefties. Brian Cashman and his roster of lefty DHs. How is this acceptable? I just want an answer. Like, how is it? How did he get to this point? How is it acceptable? How did he get to this reasoning? Because I can't understand. How did he manage to go into the season with three lefty catchers? You have to be an idiot. There's no other explanation. JC Escara, Austin Wells, and Ben Rice came up as three lefty catchers to start this year. You have to be an idiot. You have to be. What's the other explanation? There's no explanation there's no way you could say he's a good general manager now. None. That Heliot Ramos trade was an abomination. He's batting .083. Last year, he led the league in errors in left field. So A, he can't field, and B, he can't hit very well. And he strikes out a lot. And we give up a top 5 prospect for that. A platoon DH, but he bats from the right side, so that's what we did. You had Randall Grichuk for free to start this year, but you DFA'd him, and then you had to give up a top 5 prospect to make up for that mistake, who, by the way, Grichuk is crushing it with a .580 slug over in Chicago, who the Yankees DFA'd. Batting .300, just under .300, with a slug of .580. 1,000 OPS for the Chicago White Sox, and we DFA'd him. That was a righty bat. He'd have been fine. He would have been just fine. He wouldn't even need to play as well as he's done so far for the White Sox. He would have been just fine. But no. Brian Cashman's smarter. He DFA's him, and then has to give up a top 5 prospect to bring in Heliot Ramos, who's having a much worse year. One of the worst years of his career. That's fantastic. And he's been awful for the Yankees. He has 3 hits, and he has more misplays in left field than he has hits so far as a Yankee. And he's batting .083. And he's lazy as shit. Did you see the way that he ran out that ground ball against Toronto the other day? Like, a light jog, a light one. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. But again, that's also Aaron Boone's fault, because apparently he doesn't seem to care if people lollygag it on the field and doesn't seem to hustle. He doesn't seem to care. It's fine. I'm so done with this organization as it is, man. I'm so sick of it. How is this good? It's not good baseball. Aaron Boone says they compete their butts off. Who competes their butts off? Jazz Chisholm doesn't know how many outs there are, and Ramos lightly jogging to first base. Lightly. They're not competing their butts off. You're a liar, Booney. You're a liar. Absolute liar. I think Trent Grisham hustles his butt off. Dude takes like 6 turns just to get to a ball. Doesn't even throw it. He makes no effort. Doesn't run anymore. This is what Aaron Boone calls competing their butts off. He lies. He freaking lies, bro. This team doesn't hustle. This team doesn't compete. This team's lazy. This team's entitled. This team's arrogant. And the reason why it's entitled and arrogant is because their general manager is entitled and arrogant. There's no recourse. There's no repercussions for Brian Cashman having 6 DHs and 7 or 8 lefties in a lineup every day. No repercussions for it. There's no repercussions for him trading a top 5 prospect for a platoon DH. No repercussions for it. There was no repercussions for Brian Cashman going on WFAN boasting about giving Derek Jeter a phone call and ripping him for his opinions on Fox Sports about Brian Cashman's shitty roster construction. And it is shitty, Brian. But there's no repercussions for that. None. Zero repercussions. Halden has no issue with him trying to publicly embarrass one of the greatest Yankees, one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game. In the century of baseball, Derek Jeter is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And he's certainly top 4 Yankees of all time. And Brian Cashman, that snotty, snuffling, bald fuck, tried to embarrass him on the radio. Fuck you, Brian Cashman, you fucking prick. But there's no repercussions for that. No repercussions for trying to diminish A-Rod in that same interview. Oh, he only won one championship here. Sniveling prick. No repercussions for that. No repercussions for the Joey Gallo trade. No repercussions for the Josh Donaldson trade. No repercussions for screwing up the Anthony Volpe situation so badly that he has to be sent down. There's no repercussions for all his failed prospects under his watch. No repercussions for firing Joe Girardi for no reason and hiring this fucking idiot Aaron Boone. There's no repercussions for it. There's no repercussions for him going into this deadline and failing to get a catcher, failing to add one single bullpen arm. No repercussions for that either. There's no repercussions for 16 straight years of failure. No repercussions. Everything's fine. No one holds Brian Cashman accountable. Well, I'll goddamn hold him accountable because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of his awful roster construction. I'm sick of his arrogance. I'm sick of him trying to embarrass one of the greatest Yankees to ever walk the earth. He's a far better human than Brian Cashman is, I'll tell you that, Derek Jeter is. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of his awful attitude. There was no repercussions for him having Aaron Judge test free agency. No repercussions for that either. He literally tried to embarrass Aaron Judge publicly. No repercussions for that. Aaron Judge in negotiations was like, please don't make it public. Please don't make these negotiations public. Brian's like, oh, of course, sir. Oh, of course, Aaron. No problem. Of course I won't. Walks out of the building, embarrasses him publicly. To the point where Aaron was heading to San Francisco or San Diego until Hal finally did something as an owner. It's absolutely disgraceful the way that Brian Cashman runs this team with impunity. There's no recourse for any of this stuff. No recourse. And I'm really passionate about it because this is embarrassing. How dare he have 7 DHs and 7 lefties in a roster? How dare he? How dare he try and embarrass legends? How dare he? I'm done with it, man. Have some pride, have some self-respect, and resign. He should. It's just it really gets my goat, man. I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. The way that he runs this team with impunity. And there's no recourse for any of his awful actions and his awful trades. Donald, do you think Max is done for the entire season? Yes. It's the same injury as he had before. So the last one took him 2 months. This will take him 2 months, that'll be the season. I'm 65 years old and I've been a Yankee fan since before I can remember. My interest in the Yankees have never been so low. I'm with you, Stevie B. I've been a Yankee fan since day dot as well, and my interest and my anger has never been so high, and like my respect for the organization has never been so low. I have no respect for Brian Cashman or Boone or Hal or Jazz, etc., etc. It's a team that's very hard to root for because there's so many horrible personalities in it. And the way that they behave is un-Yankee like. It really is un-Yankee like. But it's also just not good baseball. They don't compete hard. They don't fight. Their at bats are embarrassing. Since Aaron Judge has gone down, they're like the worst offense. This is the worst offense I've ever seen in my life. Awful. There's no excuse for this. Again, no recourse for Brian Cashman. Without Aaron Judge, you have the worst offense in baseball with a $300 million payroll. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you, Brian? Seriously, how dare you? Jade, I didn't watch the last two games for my mental health. It's a disgraceful shit show. Completely agree. Well said. That's our Yankees. Absolutely. Yep. I know. CT cards regarding the million DHs that we have, it's not going to work. Yep. But hey, I hope they prove me wrong and make the postseason interesting. They won't. They won't. Losing Max is huge. The problem is the Yankees are just going to use this as an excuse. I can see the future. The Yankees are going to use this as an excuse. Oh, Aaron Judge was hurt. Stan was hurt. Bellinger was hurt. Reed was hurt. We didn't have Rodon. They've got the list of excuses for when they have an early exit, whether it's in the wild card or the DS. Um, they'll have a long list of excuses, and then roll it back. Because don't forget, Brian Cashman told us, "I defy any of you to tell me this is not a World Championship caliber team." This isn't a World Championship caliber team. It never was, even when fully healthy. It never was. But they can't take responsibility for anything. But the problem is, even a healthy Aaron Judge, even if Aaron Judge played every single day, this team is not a World Series caliber team. Even if he played every single day, it just wasn't. For the reasons I mentioned, overly left-handed, overly unathletic. He didn't acquire any bullpen help. He didn't get a catcher. He didn't target positions of need because he's too arrogant to do that. Because that would admit that he's doing something wrong. He could never do that. It was very frustrating. As you can see, I'm very frustrated. But yeah, that's where we're at. It's just with Jazz and Brian Cashman, I don't know. It's hard to root for the team this year. But everybody, please hit that like button. The Max Fried news is very bad news for the Yankees, that's for sure. So I guess what you're looking at is a rotation now that means that Will Ward has to stay in the rotation, which is really bad news. Rodon will come in free spot. That means you're still going to get Will Warren and pitch every day, and that's terrible. Steve B, you nailed it. They're so hard to support. Arrogance on all levels. Thank you, man. Entitled and no professional competitive players. Absolutely fact, Steve B. They are hard to support. Like, how am I supposed to support like a guy like Jazz who doesn't care, who makes a mockery of the sport, makes a mockery of the team that he plays for, with pants 6 times the size of him, sucking lollipops, kicking cameras and building sandcastles and yawning, and getting himself thrown out, and jogging around the field openly admitting that he doesn't know the rules of the game. And after he screws up, admits afterwards that he'd do it again. How am I supposed to root for that? I'm sorry, I can't shut my brain off and accept that. I can't. Just because he wears the Yankee pinstripes, I can't support somebody that embarrasses the organization to the extent that he does. I can't do that. I can't shut my brain off like that. Anthony Volpe, how entitled was that kid? So freaking entitled. Now, I don't know who he is personally. I'm sure he's a very nice kid personally. But he was incredibly entitled. And incredibly coddled. How am I supposed to support that? He got 100 times the opportunities of any other prospect. He didn't merit any of the kind of support that he got. No one else, Dominguez never got the opportunity. Spencer Jones hasn't gotten the opportunities. Florial never got the opportunities. Frazier never got the opportunities. Peraza never got the opportunities. The list goes on. None of these people got the opportunities that Volpe had, and Volpe had thousands and thousands and thousands of at-bats. And was he below average baseball player? And also coddled and entitled. How am I supposed to support that? And Brian Cashman is so arrogant in his behavior. He hates the Yankee fan base, which just makes me hate him. I didn't hate Brian Cashman before, believe it or not. I respected him. Up until a couple of years ago, I thought he was an upper half GM. I thought, you know what? He has his faults, but by and large, he puts us in a decent position to succeed. But over the last couple of years, he has been on a relentless run of horror. He's been a nightmare. He's screwing things up left, right, and center. He's arrogant. He takes no responsibility. And he's combative. And he treats the fan base like dirt. He takes no responsibility for anything. He's keeping people in positions that they don't deserve to be in, such as Aaron Boone, such as Mike Fishman, such as James Rowson, such as frickin' that awful third base coach that we have, Rojas. It's awful. I can't support that kind of arrogance. And Aaron Boone gaslighting me on a daily basis. Oh, we compete our butts off. Do they fuck? Oh, we're just hitting in a little bit of bad luck, but we're just round the corner. They're but the worst strikeout numbers and the worst batting average in baseball since Aaron Judge went down. Oh, this is a bit of bad luck. You're gaslighting me. Stop gaslighting me. Anthony Volpe's fucking elite. No, he's not. He's not even average. Stop gaslighting me. How am I supposed to support that? I can't shut my brain off. I know there's some fans that do it. And God bless you for shutting your brain off and just doing it and allowing it. But I can't. It feels wrong. I can't support a GM that embarrasses Derek Jeter publicly and A Rod. I can't support that. I'm never going to support someone who does that. Nope, not me. Some people will, and I know there's some people in X that do. God bless you. That ain't me. I have standards, and I have to tell the truth. And the truth is, Brian Cashman is a malfunctioning GM. The league has passed him by. The league has lapped him, and he has no respect for us. So, in turn, I have no respect for him. And that was another aspect of Brian Cashman. The $23.5 million to Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham is one of the worst center fielders in baseball. Thank you. That throw to third base was some weak ass shit. Exactly. It was really shallow. And that throw was a joke. The catcher had to take it from the mound, I believe, because it didn't even reach the plate. And he was really shallow. And I mean, the week before, Trent Grisham ducked. I believe it was against the Braves. He literally ducked with a ball that was heading towards him, but he took such a horrible route to the ball. His footwork was all wrong. He took the opposite way to get to that ball, and then when the ball was heading near him, he ducked. That's who he is in center field now. Like, I want to know what I just want to know what the coaching is going on here. Because, Volpe's fundamentals was embarrassing. Trent Grisham's fundamentals out there is embarrassing. Elliot Ramos can't field his position. That's embarrassing. Our first basemen all suck. I mean, what are we doing here? What kind of coaching's going on? Oh, and Aaron Boone, oh yeah, we're competing our butts off. Give me a break. I don't compete. Trent Grisham doesn't compete. Sorry, I can't be gaslit. It's a question that there will be no answer for, Felix. Trent was a Gold Glover in the Padres. How is he so bad now? He isn't even that old. All I can say is that $23.5 million for someone that is so lazy was probably the worst thing that could possibly happen to him. He got paid like 5 times his value, and he's a fourth outfielder that should be used in a platoon, and he's playing every day as one of the most expensive outfielders in baseball. And his attitude was always kind of lazy. Now, the difference before was he was hitting home runs and he could field his position. Now he can't field his position and he stopped hitting home runs. So now he's just fucking lazy. No, he's not the best. Definitely not. I mean, in terms of center fielders, I would say Spencer Jones is better than him in center field. And Cody Bellinger is definitely better in center field than he is. But this is, again, we go back to this roster construction thing. Michael Kay saying that Spencer Jones is going to get sent down. I wouldn't doubt it. Spencer Jones gets sent down because there's no recourse, no responsibility. No accountability for Trent Grisham making such a clown of himself out there in the outfield and Elliot Ramos being awful. No responsibility, no accountability. They'll stay. Spencer Jones gets sent down. Yeah, that's probably true. Hot dogging, but to be honest, it's kind of the same thing for me. Hot dogging, lazy. Either way, he's far too relaxed out there. And it's just not. I mean, I know there'll be some people saying, "Oh, that's how Aaron Boone wants it." Oh, wants the guys to be nice and relaxed out there. They're far too relaxed. We've Ramos barely walking to first base on a ground ball. That had he actually ran at any kind of clip, he would have been safe. You know, yeah, Jazz lollygagging it around defensively and on the base pass. This team does it too often. Got Trent, who also was really, really poor on the base pass, really fucking slow, and lazy as hell in the outfield. This is a far too comfortable team. The team's far too comfortable, far too relaxed, no accountability. Lazy. Hot dogging, lazy. Either way, this is Booney Bubble's team. Bronx Bomber does say, on a positive note, Lombard has just been fantastic. Yeah, Lombard's been amazing, bro. I love that kid. He's far exceeded any expectations. And, you know, I think if War was being realistic, I think he would account for a lot of wins since he's come up. Since Lombard's come up, I think you can actually basically give him the wins because every ball that's hit towards him, he's gobbled it up perfectly. He's got a rocket arm and an obscenely good glove, and he's had some really great at bats too. He has a really nice level swing. I'm just worried about what the Yankees are going to do to him because they've done this to a lot of. They've done this. They've destroyed more prospects than any organization I've ever known. So I wouldn't be surprised if they turn Lombard into a pool hitter and then destroy him because they've done this. They did that to Torres. They did that with Sanchez. They've done that with Volpe. They did it to Wells. They've done it to Clint Frazier. They've done it to basically any prospect they can possibly get their hands on. Peraza. They've tried to destroy everyone. So if Lombard can survive them, that would be amazing. But for me, that's another reason why we got to get rid of Boone and Cashman because um, the number of prospects that have succeeded under them, um, it's basically Ben Rice and Aaron Judge. And by the way, Aaron Judge is like 35. And Aaron Judge didn't develop under Boone. So really, Aaron Boone, you can only praise him for Rice in terms of position players. That's a horrible record. And another reason why Aaron Boone is a terrible manager because prospects can't develop under him. But they've had some great players coming through, and after a year or two, the Yankees get their awful grubby hands on them and then destroy them. So I hope they don't do the same thing with Lombard because Lombard is amazing. He can hit to all fields. I love his approach. I love his attitude. I love his hustle. I love the way he feels. I love his arm. I love his glove. I love every single aspect about George Lombard. He's got a great family. Just literally the perfect player, the perfect prospect. Um, no, you're right. Whenever that ball is hit to him, it's basically a certainty that he sorts it out and deals with it. I've never seen it before. The last one I could confidently say that dealt with anything that was hit towards him was Jeter. It's been a long time. Didi was good for a couple of years, but then kind of fell off. But other than Jeter and Didi, there's not been a good shortstop. We've not had a good shortstop until Lombard. I don't see Cashman going. Oh God, I just can't. I can't handle another year of Brian Cashman. It's I just can't deal with it. But nor can I deal with another year of Boone. But I definitely can't see Boone getting a 10th season without a championship. Uh, I hope you're right, but of course, I thought he was done after the second playoff loss to Boston, Houston. Of course, the 2004 video. He should have been fired for all three of those things. He should have been fired for the um. Oh God, there's so many. The nasty Nestor to Freeman move that cost us the World Series. I mean, there's that. The Red Sox video, the Astros sweep, multiple embarrassments against Boston. Um, we got blown out by the Blue Jays back to back in October last year. That was embarrassing. Um, God, there's been so many missing the playoffs. I mean, that's 7 reasons why Boone should have been fired. All the June swoons. I'm surprised that none of them didn't cost him his job. And then that opener versus Tampa was one of the funniest things in the world. But I think that was a Brian Cashman move. And that's the reason why Aaron Boone stays, is because he's Brian Cashman's lackey. He's Brian Cashman's boy. Brian Cashman doesn't want a manager. He doesn't want an Alex Cora. He doesn't want a Kevin Cash. He doesn't want someone that actually manages. You know? He doesn't want a Terry Francona. He doesn't want a Buck Showalter. He doesn't want a Joe Girardi. He wants a lackey. He wants someone that will be a shield for him. That's someone that's going to blow smoke up everyone's asses and tell them how wonderful and elite they are and be friends with everybody. And he wants someone that's going to gaslight the fan base. And Aaron Boone does that job better than anyone. He does not want someone that manages, because that would only undermine Brian Cashman. He can't have that, because Brian Cashman has to run this organization like frickin' Roman Emperor. He needs to be the one in control. He needs to be pulling the puppet strings. And if he actually has a manager, that manager is going to bite back at him. He doesn't want that. That's why he fired Joe Torre and Joe Girardi. He doesn't want a manager that talks back to him. Brian Cashman has to be the Roman Emperor. And that's the problem. That's why, if anything that's actually gonna fix the Yankees, it has to be that Brian Cashman has to go. Brian Cashman has got to go, and when he goes, Aaron Boone will follow, and then we can rebuild this organization. One or the other doesn't work. Both have to go, because Boone's Cashman's lackey, and Cashman is the puppeteer. Dude, I wish I knew. He was so excited. Dude, he was such a good GM for so long. And that's the thing, is like, I know that I'm really going after him big time. I'm destroying Cashman, but for good reason, because this is not who he is. He used to be an excellent general manager, excellent. The 2019 he built was fantastic. The work that he did in 2017, fantastic. The Stanton trade, that was a really good trade. It hasn't worked out in his latter years, but it's good. The Garrett Cole signing, like, I would say up to about COVID, he was doing well. He was doing a good job. He built several championship caliber teams, but the problem is his ego has always been his undoing. I even thought the Juan Soto trade was fantastic. It was a fantastic trade. So it's not the case that Brian Cashman's always been awful, but of late he is on a treacherous run of just awful move after awful move after awful move. But his biggest mistake is the fact that he's so thin-skinned. And that's something about this whole organization. I mean, Michael Kay is incredibly thin-skinned, and like it just seems to be whether you're the announcer or whether you're the manager or the general manager, you're all incredibly thin-skinned. But Brian Cashman is the thinnest skin of them all. He can't have anyone criticize him, and he would rather lose and be proven right than admit he was wrong and win. The evidence is there. Yeah, the arrogance bothers me. The arrogance is awful, bro. It really bothers me. No one should be that arrogant. Like the best example of the arrogance was when he was more upset that A-Rod and Jeter criticized his roster construction than he was that the Yankees got destroyed against the Blue Jays in the playoffs. He made excuses for the loss against Toronto, but he hated being criticized publicly. Hated it. That's him. That's who he is. He's thin-skinned and arrogant. And he'll never admit that he was wrong about Aaron Boone. Never. Let's not forget that during one of their June swoons, during an awful run, a couple of seasons into Aaron Boone's tenure, Brian Cashman said, and I quote, "We made our bed with Aaron Boone. We just have to lie in it." Why do you have to lie in it? Now, I'm sure Brian Cashman forgets that, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. I remember that quote. I remember he said it, I believe it was on the Michael Kay show. It was years ago, but he said it. We made our bed with Aaron Boone. We just have to lie in it. Why do you have to lie in it? Why don't you just admit that he screwed up, that he isn't the manager that you thought he was, and you move on, get a manager that can actually lead men and win championships? Could you ever do that? No. Instead, you have to gaslight us. There'll be a feeding frenzy for Aaron Boone. He's the greatest manager ever. This is the kind of shit that he's saying now. He's just a liar. That arrogance is a problem. I don't understand what Brian Cashman gets out of this, because he has built 2 or 3 World Series caliber teams. I would say the 2019 team, 2018 team, those teams were World Series caliber, and the 2024 team, they were World Series caliber. That's 3. There's at least 3 World Series caliber teams that he's built, and Aaron Boone has screwed all of them up. But no accountability for that. So that's why I'm declaring that Brian Cashman has got to be relieved of his duties, and so does Aaron Boone. The 2 of them have got to go, and the sooner the better. The David Justice trade was great. Clemens, I put most of that on I believe George Steinbrenner, because you have to remember there was a Tampa faction. The David Justice team move was definitely Brian Cashman move, but there was a lot of moves that were from a Tampa faction. So George Steinbrenner made a lot of moves. Like he made the Gary Sheffield move. Like he pushed for a lot of those kind of guys, and he pushed for Clemens multiple occasions. Let's not forget that Andy Pettitte was allowed to walk out the building because of Brian Cashman. And Brian Cashman wanted to make a deal for Kevin Brown and Javier Vasquez. So, and let's also not forget that Brian Cashman was the one that wanted to have the World Series MVP in 2009 to walk out the building so that he can bring back Nick Johnson. So, even back then, Brian Cashman had his failures. Massive failures at that. Yeah, there'll be a feeding frenzy for Boone if they ever let him go. Sure, exactly. Well said, FJ. Good to see you in the chat. So, everybody, please hit the like button, sub up. I've destroyed Brian Cashman and Jazz Chisholm for about an hour and 25 minutes. Please, everybody that you guys know that are Yankee fans that are as equally pissed off as I am, and you guys are, please share it out. Let's get to the subs up and let's get more people watching. And to those that watch this after the fact, good to see you. And we will see you in the next show. So that was another episode of the Yankified Podcast. Another rant. Another good rant. Pretty proud of that rant. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come. To those that stuck with me tonight, have a great one. And I'll see you in the next stream. Peace.